Actors. We're filming live at Black Hat 2025, and I'm here with Alex Mosher, our president. Welcome to Bad Actors.
Thank you for having me on again. It was so much fun the last time at RSA that we just felt we must do this again.
Absolutely. So this one's pretty special, and I had to have you on because you are the man to talk about this in your role as president and CRO. We announced something pretty big yesterday, 300 million plus in ARR.
That's right.
That is incredible growth in just under 12 months.
That's right.
Since we were at Black Hat last year.
That's right.
There is a lot to unpack about how you and your team have built that in the last 12 months. Start at the very beginning though. What are we seeing from a demand in customers at the moment, and why have we sped through that next milestone so quickly?
Well, first of all, I gotta say thanks to our amazing team at all aspects of the team, right? Not just the go-to-market organization, but all parts and facets of Armis, right? None of this would have been possible without the hard work and dedication of every person that works at the company. And then, of course, that's all great, except if you don't have amazing customers that you voice with their dollars to buy your products, then you don't have a market and you don't have this great milestone for us. It's really a testament to the fact that Armis is addressing, some of the most complicated, difficult challenges from a cybersecurity perspective out there in the world today. We're doing it with an amazing team, an amazing product, and with a level of engagement that our customers are really looking for and expecting and needing in the marketplace. And that's why they're coming back and voting time and time again with their dollars to invest in Armis. And they see, those investment dollars giving them incredible value. They're unlocking more and more features and capabilities within their existing investment, but also investing in other aspects of the platform. So a lot of our growth has been fueled by customers adopting and utilizing more and more pieces of the Armis platform. So it's not just customers coming in, buying one capability from Armis and then never talking to us again. But our entire story and value proposition in the marketplace has always been as a true platform company. And I think you and I have talked about this offline many, many times, that I get deeply frustrated because platform is probably one of the most overused words in our industry as a whole, right? Not just in cybersecurity, but in software and tech as a whole. But to me, platform really means the ability to pick and choose on one central engine, different capabilities within that engine to be able to start with, to be able to grow with. So be able to start with one of our 5 products, be able to have that, run that independently, get incredible value out of it, but then unlock that additional capability, not with add-ons, but a truly independent standalone product. And I think customers see that, they see the value in what we're driving, and they continue to voice with their dollars that investment in Armis. So I think it's that melding together of great product that we have, an incredible go-to-market organization, and meeting those customers with the needs that they have at the exact same time. So I'm really happy and excited about the fact that we've traversed the 300 mark. But for me, my eyes have always been set on a much higher level. So the fact that we, crossed over, it was, Black Hat a year ago that we announced, we could have announced earlier, but since we kind of made Black Hat this milestone announcement, that, we would come out and say, hey, we also a little while back crossed over 300 as well. Now, it's the journey to 400 to 500 to beyond. And, I talked about recently in a couple media articles that you had me participate, how does Armis get to $1 billion and beyond? And I see that, right within our sights now, right? We clearly know what we need to go do to get there.
And it's interesting because at the same momentum from a sort of revenue perspective, we also have embarked on quite an ambitious and quite fast integration program with our M&A activity. So just over 12 months, we have acquired 3 individual companies, which of course expanded the platform as you've talked about. That's given Armis a new opportunity to help customers with bigger, broader problems that they want to solve, and come back to that partner of choice. So being one of many platforms that they could consider, most of our customers actually want to consolidate their tech stack and start choosing a partner that they can do more with.
That's right.
As you look to the next year, 2, 3, Armis will inevitably expand even further. I know we have secret announcements for the remainder of this year to announce more product lines.
Yeah.
How do you see that working? Adjacent markets, new capabilities? Yep. What does that, do you think, look like?
I think when you build a company with a platform at the center of what you wanted to do from the get-go, and you keep your eye focused on, what can you do with that platform, right? And how can I truly have a real platform in the marketplace where I can add multiple individual standalone products and capabilities that each address different addressable markets, different TAMs themselves. It opens up the opportunity for us to then go and look at, what are some of the underserved areas that we're hearing from customers, right? Maybe areas that are being served by others today, but with old tech or a legacy approach to being able to do that. Something that doesn't address the modern realities from a cyber perspective. Different things in integrating capabilities around AI and other emerging technologies into the mix. We've done such a great job in building that underpinning platform that we'll be able to add, organically and inorganically, right? So both from things that we develop ourselves, where we're like, we've got all the skill sets inside of the organization today to be able to bring amazing world-class products to market. And then we'll do and continue to do things on the inorganic path to where we'll selectively address, TAMs that we hear from our customers that they say, man, it'd be great, Alex, if Armis went and could do, X, Y, or Z. And we're always paying attention to, those new emerging ways and areas. And that's why we've been able to be, quite unique also, because we've got the skill set on the go-to-market front to where I'm not forced, like many other companies, to have to go buy revenue to drive growth. I can go buy literally the best solution for our customers at the end of the day. And then with the platform combined with our go-to-market motion, be able to bring that to bear and bring, exceptional value to our customers. So I think that, like you said, with some of the upcoming announcements, some of the other things that we're looking at, I think that the opportunity, and that's why, when you ask me about, like, how do you get to $1 billion, like, how does that actually happen? How do you get to the next, like the next 100 and how quickly can that happen? It's going to be fueled by the fact that our customers and the market continue to tell us, hey, if you could go in this direction, I'm committed to going and investing in you in those areas, because those are areas of extreme pain for us, right? And you're doing such a great job in addressing the pain that we have now, that it naturally makes sense for us to go to the next level.
Before we move out of Armis for a little bit, I wanted to talk to you about our last acquisition. There was a few months ago. We're at the very end of integrations. Organizations have been buying the new Artoria, what we acquired from Artoria, capabilities to move into an on-prem environment.
That's right.
And of course, that's not something that we had 6 months ago. How is that going? Are customers really excited about the expanded element into a hybrid environment?
Incredible. Like, it moved us, we've always believed that, and we, validated by Gartner and many other analysts, Forrester and many others, that we have had and continue to have the best SaaS-based solution in the market in the 5 product areas that we go to market with. But there are some markets and some areas of the market that we weren't candidly able to address with a true SaaS-based platform, right? A cloud-based offering. We had aspects of the market that unfortunately we had to walk away from, and customers who said, Alex, I'd really love to buy your product, but I've got a regulatory requirement. I've got an internal stigma associated with adoption of cloud in this area. But if you could bring your capabilities, which we know are the best of the best, into an on-prem offering, we'll be able to adopt that and move forward. So it's that acquisition, it was imperative to us to integrate it at a hyper pace. So what we learned, the skill that I brought before running acquisitions in my past life, to then knowing, our previous 2 acquisitions around CTCI and Silk, the speed in which we were able to integrate those, we brought even more speed and pressure to the go-to-market organization in and around the Artoria acquisition, because we knew there was a demand in the market. There were customers that were looking for solutions. They'd looked at other just on-prem solutions, but they didn't want to buy something that didn't bring the value, the capabilities, the platform that Armis was bringing to bear. So it was imperative for us to move at a hyper pace to
Yeah.
go address that. So we've already unlocked a tremendous amount of new revenue. We've unlocked new markets that Armis wasn't addressing previously, especially in some areas around critical infrastructure
Yeah.
globally. But we're also seeing things like the SRA capability that Otorio brought to bear to be incredibly fruitful for us. So we're going to see more and more demand around secure remote access. Every customer we've shown that capability to,
Yeah.
existing, new, they've just been completely blown away. And then the other piece that they've been completely blown away with is the capabilities they have around attack path mapping. And we're doing so much more with that capability in the rest of the Armis platform, bringing attack path mapping capabilities to our asset management and security product, our OT, IoT product, to our MDS, medical device security product, and then even into our areas of early warning and Viper Pro to combine all of that together. So it's incredibly exciting for us on the go-to-market front, because we're able to help customers with real problems, right? Not just the theoretical or what if or whatnot, but the things that are truly keeping them up at night and the things that are preventing them from, really having a productive engagement as a cyber team with the rest of the business, right? And unlocking that. So it's been great, and that's why I think that when you look at us at Armis, we're so excited and bullish about what we can both go do organically and inorganically, because we're not stuck in that spot to where it's like, okay, well, you can only consider these companies or solutions because you must buy revenue, right, to grow. We're in that spot to where we can buy amazing tech, incredible teams. We brought in such incredible talent into the organization through the acquisitions we've made, and our customers see it, they feel it, and they continue to invest their dollars in the company as a result.
It's funny, I had some of our partners as guests on Bad Actors yesterday, and Blackwood and Guidepoint and WWT, and they all validated just what you just said about secure remote access. Has been a massive game changer since we've acquired Otorio, and they're really seeing that traction in the market. So I think they recognize that change has been great. Just taking a step back away from Armis, I wanted to talk to you about the last couple of weeks. There's been a massive amount of consolidation, a few acquisitions. Some of the big players are trying to double down on that platform strategy, as you say. And I look across the next 12 months and maybe further beyond that. There is over 3,000 cybersecurity vendors in the market, tussling for the same set of customers.
That's right.
We are going to see some massive changes ahead in the next 12 months. Armis will be at the center of all of this because we have one of the best capabilities, and as you say, the platforms. What do you think that's going to look like from a customer perspective as we go forward? I
think that, you tie together the realities of the number of companies that are in the cyberspace with just the economic realities of the world today, right? And the bottom line is that companies, our customers, want to move at an accelerated pace from a cyber perspective, because they know that emerging technologies like AI and others are being used by bad actors to attempt to infiltrate their organizations, and that they can't move at the pace of cyber 5 years ago, 10 years ago, where maybe the market could bear 3,000 companies in there. I think the reality is that large to small organizations out there looking to make investments in cyber are going to make those investments in a couple dozen organizations at the end of the day, because they don't have the time, the money, the energy, the effort to go try to build a platform themselves out of gluing a ton of different technologies together. What they're going to go do is invest in companies that have already done that bring amazing tech to bear, and that they can have deep relationships with. I don't think that anybody will go all in with one single vendor. I think that organizations will have many different players, but those players will be in platform spaces. So they'll have, their exposure management, vendors. They'll have maybe their endpoint protection vendors, right? And they'll want them to operate and integrate together, but they will want them to still be independent. I think what the market won't be able to bear is what I call the feature-based companies, which is a lot of the cyberspace today. Great ideas, but they really have built a set of features instead of truly companies and platforms that customers want to go adopt. If the U.S. economy, kind of came out and showed, still a lot of growth that was there, growing at north of 3%, that means that business is growing at a hyper pace, and those realities are going to be that you can't have implementations that take months and years to go do because you wanted to buy 5, different tools out there in the marketplace. You're going to need to buy one platform,
right,
and bring that to bear very quickly. So we're seeing that from our customers too, right? That are looking to unlock immediate value from their investment with and in the Armis platform. They don't want to spend weeks, months, years trying to deploy and implement. And so when we're implementing solutions in sub 30 days at extreme scale inside of incredibly complicated organizations, in many cases legacy organizations, it's just a testament to, I think, the reality of what the market's going to be like going forward. And that's why you see these platform players making strategic acquisitions. But the big ones that we've seen lately, especially the ones that have garnered a lot of attention, you'll notice that it's platform players buying bigger platforms, right? And expanding into those secondary and tertiary markets, but doing it not just with point solutions, but rather with entire platform plays.
I want to talk to you. We're in the US. We've had this conversation before about me being British and you being American.
A few times.
I want to talk to you about the federal government. The pace of direction that President Trump and his administration is going down towards the AI initiatives. We're also seeing huge growth in Armis's federal business. We are going to see probably a lot of vendors fall by the wayside because they just can't meet the standards. We are working to the final stages of IL5 and FedRAMP High. Very exciting times. Where do you see that level of our business in the next 12 months?
I think that, look, a lot of things are evolving because the reality is the world is evolving. The threat landscape is evolving, dramatically, and every single day, right? And organizations, whether they be public sector, the private sector, everybody is dealing with an onslaught of threats all over the place. And so I think that more and more legislative activity will come out of the US. I think that the US, no offense to my British counterpart here, is going to be and wants to be a leader in this space. I think we're setting ourselves up as being a leader in AI. We've always been a leader in cybersecurity, and I think we are going to continue to be a leader in cybersecurity. And I think that regardless of kind of who's occupying, 1600 Pennsylvania, the reality is that, Americans as a whole kind of collectively agree that these are areas that we can be leaders in and should be leaders in, and setting the standard for the rest of the world, and then establishing great partnerships like we came out and said with the Brits are in and around AI and cybersecurity and some of these other areas. So I think that there's a huge opportunity going forward for companies like Armis and others to really be leaders in that, and I think that the reason we've got such a healthy business in and around public sector is that we've always been big thought leaders. We've been change agents in government, and we've helped that not only penetrate into the public sector, but let that be a driving element that moves down into the private sector as well, right? And then taking the needs of the private sector and bringing that into to the public sector. So I see, the future to be incredibly bright in and around that. I think that Armis is going to be incredibly instrumental around some of the legislative changes. We've already done things like brought forward the concept into one piece of federal investment area is in this area called CDM, which stands for Continuous Diagnostics and Mitigation. Historically, that just really focused on traditional devices like laptops, desktops, tablets, phones, but through Armis, we help change that to bring IoT assets and OT assets into the mix, and that's a game changer, right? It's a game changer for how the government secures its infrastructure. But then, as a result of that change, we see the private sector say, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. Whether Congress or the state legislatures, regulate it. We just think that's smart business. So we want to go and follow the exact same path. So I think there's going to be a lot of things like that come forward over the next year and beyond because of our heavy investment in areas of AI and cybersecurity to really be true leaders, and Armis wants to be hand in hand with governments around the world and partnering with the UK and partnering with our European counterparts and other governments around the world. We've just done incredibly well as a company in that public sector space, and we think it's going to continue to grow and reap incredible rewards rewards for the organization.
It's definitely seeing a lot of momentum behind it at the moment. So on a personal note,
Yes.
you have been at the helm as president for the last 2 now full quarters.
Yes.
It has been a really great time for Armis. Congratulations, as always.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure working with you. And you are definitely a force within the company of great change and momentum. What has surprised you about the role since you took it on? And what has given you great joy and excitement about the future?
You know, I think this is always the case. You never really know, or that old adage. First, I'll start with, which is, "Be careful what you ask for," because you just might get it, right? So I think that the thing that's surprised me is with a wider aperture around, Armis as a whole. I was very focused in the last role, as the chief revenue officer on that R piece of my title, right, the revenue piece of my title. But now to have, more involvement across the entire spectrum, that aperture of the entire company, right, and understanding every aspect of go-to-market, every aspect of what we're doing from an R&D point of view, what we're doing in all parts of the organization. I think the thing that has surprised me is the incredible talent that we have as an organization, how dedicated they are to our customers' outcomes and successes, and even in areas, Rebecca, that you might not even necessarily think about, right? Like take your team, for example, like PR, you're like, okay, PR kind of, and AR, and they do their thing, right? But they're maybe not as invested in what the customer outcome is going to be. But to find out that no, like they deeply care about our customers and what they're seeing, and like the ramifications of your engagements with media and others. It's not just about those, but what that really means for our customers and our partners and others that choose to do business with us. So I think I didn't have that landscape and viewpoint. I think that the other thing that just surprised me, it's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but it's good work, right? Like it's really like good, and it's exciting. It's great to be able to be, like you said, a change agent, hopefully in the positive as often as possible, and keeping our customers and our partners and our employees at the heart of every decision that we're making. So try to make sure that we're doing the best thing for all three of those entities at the same time is really important. I think my favorite part in this new job is back to the comment I made, and being able to really see more and how dedicated this population of Armis employees is to our partners, to our customers, that they really do deeply care every single day, because my phone doesn't ever stop ringing 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The messages, and the opportunities and showing and seeing that, and then watching our customers reap that benefit on the other end of it with a positive outcome, a company that's highly responsive to their wants and needs, a company that'll drop anything to go get to a positive outcome with their customer. And it doesn't matter, again, like folks that you see who, you've got your swim lane in the organization, but drop anything to, hey, there's a customer who has a problem. Let me see if I can go help them, right? Let me go get you the right people. You may not exactly have the answer, but you will stay relentless, and our employees truly will stay relentless to get our partners, to get our customers the outcomes that they want and need.
I think that speaks to who you are as a leader as well, because you are very people focused, and I've known you for nearly 3 years now, and I think that change is very baked into our culture across go-to-market. It's about helping each other and lifting us all together as one. So it definitely has shifted in the last year or so, when those groups are all starting to move away from their own swim lane and helping each other out. My final question, I think looking forward, no pressure, but if I was to sit down with you at Black Hat next year, I'm not committing to a revenue number because that's just a fool's errand, but there is a huge interest in the company and what we're doing at the moment. As you said, we will allude to some expanded product announcements for later on in the fall. What does the next 12 months look like? What are your sort of top 3 priorities?
Well, look, I'll sign up for a revenue number because the board's already done that for me. But look, I think that 12 months from now, you're going to have the announcement around 500 million plus for the company. There's no doubt in my mind that that's going to be the case because of everything we've talked about up to this point, right? Amazing employees, amazing partners, amazing customers, the opportunity to continue to go acquire more and more customers, bring even more technology organically and inorganically to the marketplace. There's no doubt in my mind that we'll be there. I know that might sound outlandish to a lot of people, but when you sit in my seat and you sort of see that reality, and back to, part of my leadership style is to lead from the front with the teams in the battlegrounds. And so I see it, I live it every single day with everybody else, with our customers, with our partners. And I deeply believe that that's, more than insight. And you look at those TAMs we talked about that, we'll be able to expand into and address in the future. I think that very much we'll be here, talking about that. I think the things that I'm the most excited about is to see how this business does consolidate and evolve over the next 12 months, because I do think it's going to be much, much faster over the next few years than it was over the previous, 20 or 30 years as companies evolve and they adopt and bring more and more AI to bear inside of the organization. We've seen just in the last couple of years how quickly that has changed, and that has been a catalyst component for how organizations like Armis and others have to change along with it at the same time, right? The world's changing right in front of our eyes in a very, very big, dramatic way, and it's happening faster, I think, than maybe most people expected. But I think it's happening in really positive ways, and there's going to be companies. Armis is going to very much be one, and we're going to be here, 12 months from now, talking about how we've embraced the change in the marketplace and the opportunities that it's created for growth and for helping ultimately our partners grow their business and our customers address their challenges. So I'm really, really bullish and excited about the next 12 months for the company because of those things, those amazing new TAMs, those amazing opportunities, because we keep hearing every single day from customers, Alex, it would be great if you could help me with this, but not be a Me Too player. This is going to be a highly innovative company that brings entirely new approaches to legacy problems that other folks, on this floor have maybe attempted to address over the last 20 years, but haven't been able to do it.
Right.
And that's why our customers are saying, Armis, we need you guys, your innovation, your approach, your way of putting the customer at the center of what we do to solve these problems. And I think if we do that, then the sky's the limit on where we're going to be next and how we're going to go tackle growth. And I think some of these new areas, by the way, and TAMs are possibly, we'd be talking about a totally different, even bigger number when we're here a year from now. So we start to go unlock that. We have the same success with, some of the organic things that we're building. And by the way, just to comment on that, on the stuff we're building organically, I made sure that the teams don't just give us MVP version 1. Like, we're building world-class products that we're taking to market. They will be ready to go at the levels in which our customers expect them to be, just like with whether we go acquire it in the marketplace or we go develop it ourselves. We are absolutely bringing the best to bear, and I think that when you meld that with an amazing go-to-market motion at the organization, that we absolutely will be the company to reckon with.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things to hold you to for this time next year. So I will invite you back in 12 months and we will see where we got to.
That's great.
Alex Mosher, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me back on. It's great as always.